Thanks for coming on. Andy speaking. Friday, 2nd of August. Looking ahead to the first weekend of the new season. There's a game tonight, Falkirk, Queen's Park. I think that'll be well worth watching. I was actually looking forward to backing Falkirk, but the price has gone, sadly. We'll come to that. Just to say, I'm not covering Scottish League 1 this week because we got a 2-point win bet for members, and as I've said already, we are not going to cover any league where there's a 2-point win bet because it's not fair on members. I'm not going to give any clue as to what those bets are. The 1-point win bets will be given out here. The 2-point win bets and the 3-point win maximums will be for members only. Right, Scottish Premiership. Right, for anybody who's not watched before or anything like that, I approach it differently. I don't look for winners, okay? I never have done. There is absolutely no point in trying to pick winners if they're not value. You assess it, you find a team which is value, they're highlighted in blue at the bottom, and then you look at this rating, and is that rating enough with the value? Like here, there's 0.03 at 42%. That's not enough. That's not enough. You could make a case for that, but you sort of get a feel. And I can tell you straight away, we're not having a bet in the Premiership this week, but we'll go through the teams, we'll go through the Championship, and we'll go through League 2. Some decent bets in League 2. Hearts Rangers 17-23-60, 9-2. We see that. Rangers 4-6, 8-13. It's a nothing game. If I was going to have a bet here, I would go both teams to score. I just fancy, Hearts can get one. Rangers should win though, but it's a no bet game. And this is what I'm saying, that it looks wonderful on the surface. Oh yeah, Rangers odds on, that's a decent price, blah blah. But it isn't, because they've only got a 60% chance of winning this game. So for that to be value, this figure here would need to be bigger than that, and it isn't. It's shorter. Again here, 75% chance of winning. 1-3, we make them a 1-6. You can't back that. If you back that every week, you won't make money in the long run. I promise you. The only way you can make money at betting, be it football, horse racing, cricket, golf, whatever, is by backing selections that are a bigger price than what they should be. It's that simple. The winners find themselves. Strike rates I'm not interested in. I'm interested in one thing, and that's value. Motherwell Ross 45, 26, 29. Motherwell odds on. I would never ever touch Motherwell at odds on, no matter who they're playing. They're not a team I trust. As I've just said, there's 0.7 in Ross at 29%. Now, when you do all this on a sliding scale, that's okay. I would. Well, it's not okay, but I mean, it's one of those I can think to myself, yes, I'd be happy to bet that. Now, it's a brilliant price, 31-10, just over 3-1, but you've got to think you're going to get 71% of the time. The bet isn't going to win. If you were to back bets like this every week over the course of a season, 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons, whatever, you can't fail to make money because you are backing something at a much bigger price than what it should be. But when you're dealing in something with a 29% strike rate, you are going to get losing runs of 15, 20, maybe even more. I mean, I've known losing runs at 50% of well over 10. It is that way. It's the losing runs that kill people off. And as I say, you've got to have nerves of steel if you're going to back things like that. I'm happy to back things like that all the time, because I know in the end I can't fail to finish in front. But as I say, there's a 71% chance that won't win. Dundee United 38, 24, 38, 13-8 each of 2. I felt that was very skinny for Dundee United. and I felt that was decent for Dundee. But it's not a bet for me. I don't like betting in derbies for a start, and secondly, 0.38 isn't quite enough. St Mirren Hibs. When I looked at this game, I mean, I'll tell you now, I don't look at the prices until I've made an assessment. So I will put my rating here, then I'll put my odds, and then I will look at the prices. Because if you look at the prices before you assess it, you've already in your head you've been guided, and that is something you must never do. Don't look at the price. Form an opinion, make an assessment yourself, and then when you think, oh, St Mirren, they should be 11-8, and you find them at 6-4, you thought, oh, brilliant, I found a value bet. The figure's decent, but again, just bear in mind, 58% of the time, this bet isn't going to win, and at 42%, 0.03 isn't enough. Celtic Kilmarnock, 75-16-9. Just ridiculous. 7 points in Kilmarnock, but look, 91% chance this bet doesn't win. Over the course of 1,000 bets, it's going to win 9% of the time. You're going to finish in front. You can't fail to finish in front. If you hit a 9% strike rate at 17-1, you can't fail to finish in front. But 91% of the time, it's not going to win. Finally, St Johnstone Aberdeen. I don't like either of these two. I watched Aberdeen last week against Airdrie in the League Cup at Pataudry. I was very impressed with Airdrie, very disappointed with Aberdeen. I could be proven wrong, and Airdrie could be the best team in the Championship, and Aberdeen, might be the third best team in Scotland, but I don't think they are. I mean, the Racing Post used to give Aberdeen every single week, and we just used to pose all the time. They're not the third best team in Scotland at the moment. St Johnstone, I don't really like them either. I certainly wouldn't entertain this. It's a no bet division as far as I'm concerned. If the gun was out and to the head, I honestly, it'd probably be Ross County. If someone said to me, here's £1, you've got to bet something, it would be Ross, purely and simply because it's got the most value in. But as I say, there's a 71% chance it's not going to win, so you've got to leave it alone. Right, Scottish Championship then. This game's on tonight on BBC Scotland. Obviously, you can watch it on iPlayer. If you've got Sky, watch it there. I mean, I should be watching it. And as I say, when I worked this out, I was really keen. The biggest decision I had to make about this game when I assessed this was whether we were going to go 1 or 2 points, because I had Falkirk in at 4-5. They're available at evens. There was 0.2 in it. 0.2 at 55%, so is a must bet for us. And I was leaning towards going a 2-point win. But sadly, a flood of money has shortened this up, so it's a no-bet game for us now. I mean, I've said many a time over the years on here and in the paper that I don't trust Falkirk. Flaky Falkirk is what I used to call them. But last season they were superb. Let's give them some credit. And the figure I've got on them this season, I can only give them that figure because what they'd done the previous season, and that puts them bang in here with a chance in the Championship this season. They were that good last season, and I would expect them to win tonight, but I can't touch them now. If there was a drift between now and kick-off time, I would. But yeah, I mean, I'm a bit gutted that we didn't move early enough on it. But I do try to. I tried to find out some team news today, and chances are, and I advised it yesterday when it was evens. I'd have found out some team news today, and he'd have been out, and I'd have been kicking myself. So. But we can't do it now. Anyway, that's by the by. Airdrie Wraith, 44-24-32. I saw them last week against Aberdeen. Mightily impressive. If you get the chance to watch Airdrie Onions this season, please do. When I mean, you might think this sounds far-fetched. It probably is, but when Maurizio Pochettino was manager of Tottenham and obviously Chelsea last season, front foot football, massive high press, win the ball back straight away. That's what Airdrie do. It is great. It's beautiful football to watch. Player manager there who I didn't give enough respect to. I'll be totally honest, but I do. I'm not going to say they'll do anything in the Championship this season, but I certainly expect them to bloody a few noses. Wraith have been put in as favourites to win the league this season. I just think that there's a case to be made to back Arbroath this weekend. I think 0.25 at 44% is enough, and we're going to have a point on that, but we'll come to that at the end. There's another bet in the game as well. Hamilton Air 34 26 40, tough game to assess. You can tell we make Air 6 to 4, they're available at 6 to 5. I think they're really, really skinny. I didn't know what to make of Hamilton. They're a funny side. They could go well this season. They could just tail away and drop again, but hard to know what to make. And these are sort of two teams I'd want to see a bit of form first before, rowing in, backing them. Livingston Dunfermline 50-25-25. David Martindale still there at Livingston. How long he's got remains to be seen. I think they do need a fast start for him to stay in the job. Dunfermline at home at the weekend. They did ought to be winning this. We see it at evens. It's 21-20, 0.05. It's a bet that I would make if it was a quiet weekend, but I just felt that there was value elsewhere, better value for our money than this. This isn't a bet we need to have this weekend. If the whole coupon had been like the Premiership, and by what I mean is no real decent value back in relation to ratings, I'd be happy to make this bet, but I'm not going to this weekend. Partick Morton 50-25-25 again. I don't see Partick as odds on. Sorry, I don't. Morton, very hard team to call. I mean, Partick ought to win on figures, and this is what I mean for people that might have just only come on the first time tonight. Livingston 50%, they're 21-20. Partick 50%, they're 4-5. Which one would you back? If you say Partick, you shouldn't be betting. If you had to make a choice between the two, it would be this one 100 times out of 100. Why? Because it's got some value in. Not a lot, but it's got some in. That, you're losing -2 every time. Let's go on to League 2. Right, Scottish League 2. Traditionally, it's been our best league. It wasn't last season, for one reason or another. I just felt Scotland last season was ruined by Falkirk and Stenhousemuir. I'm not going to say ruined, but they were just so far ahead, bang, gone, straight out the door. And sort of around Christmas time, teams that were in mid-table, that were in no danger of relegation or not ever going to get up, just seemed to coast along, and that's why I sort of pulled the plug on it, and concentrated on England, because League 2 in England was so good to us, and as I say, that's become our favourite league, but traditionally this was always our favourite league. Right, Bonnyrigg, Peterhead 27-26-47. We see Peterhead at 11-10. They're available at 13-10. There's 0.2 in it. 0.2 at 47%. I think is good enough. I think both of these were a draw last season. But I think that you've got two teams here going in opposite directions. I think Bonnyrigg will struggle this season, along with Stranraer and Elgin. I really do. I might be wrong, but I do. I think they'll struggle. And I do think that Peterhead are a team that will push for promotion. Edinburgh Sterling 18.22.60. I mean, that's just a ridiculous price for an away team. I get it. Edinburgh are terrible. I think they'll finish bottom this season. I really do. And when I did say about Bonnyrigg, Elgin and Stranraer, Edinburgh was in the mix as well, but I do think that they'll finish bottom. I might be wrong, but we'll see. But that's just ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, if you're taking that at 60%, you need your head seen to. I mean, look, there's a 60% chance they'll win. They did ought to win, but you can't back it. There's 2.5 points in Edinburgh, but again, there's an 82% chance that bet's not going to win. Over the course of 1,000 bets, you'll finish in front. It's whether you've got the nerves to see it through. Elgin East 5, 32.26.42. I felt they were short enough, East 5, at 6-5. I really did. When I assessed this game, and I put them in at 11-8, I thought we'd be getting sort of 6-4. And when I saw 6-5, I was mightily disappointed. I think that's far too short. Would I back Elgin? No, I wouldn't back Elgin. Borough Briggs isn't the easiest place to get a result. I've said that many, many times. East 5 was slow out the traps last season. I mean, we were on them last season we got on them at 9-1, didn't we? And they were backed into something like 7-2. It was a massive punt, but it didn't win. So, if I had to have a bet here, I would bet Elgin. But as I say, when I worked the figures out, I was looking forward to backing East 5 because I thought they would be sort of minimum 6-4, but no, 6-5. Bookmakers can keep it. Forfar Clyde 24-28-48. We're going to see a different Clyde this season. Make no mistake about that. I'm not going to say they nearly went down or finished bottom last season, but they've done enough just to stay up. But you'll see a different side this season, absolutely no question. 48% is 0.3, and again we see them at 11-10. They're 7-5. That has to be backed. It doesn't matter what your opinion is of Forfar, or if you fancy Forfar to win, you have to back that. Yes, there's a 52% chance they won't win, but I think 0.3 at 48% is a bet as far as we're concerned. Stranraer Spartans 25-27-48. I think Stranraer will struggle. Spartans, really decent outfit last season. I didn't give them the respect they warranted, but I can remember we backed them a few times and they come up for us, and I think they can hit the ground running. I think they won both games here last season, didn't they, against Stranraer? Sure they did. 48%, 11-10, we see them 7-5.3. So that covers it all. Let's have a look at the bets. It's a busy opening week because we got 6 bets. One of them, obviously, I'm not going to give you. That's for members only. That's a 2-point win bet. 2 in the Championship. Airdrie, 1 point. 6-4 is available. Airdrie and Wraith, both teams to score. 1 point at 11-10. I do think both teams will score. And if Airdrie don't win, then we have covered ourselves. And we've made a tiny bit of profit on investment should they not win. I do think both teams to score will happen. 3 bets in League 2, Peterhead, Clyde, Spartans, all 1 point win, 13-10 and 7-5 respectively. That's it, guys. I will be back Wednesday, and on Wednesday we will complete the anti-post stuff, because we will cover the 3 national leagues, National League North, National League South, and we will cover the dreaded English Premiership. And that is it. I will be back on Wednesday at sort of 6 o'clock-ish with that, and then obviously Friday, where more football kicks off. That's it, guys. Have a good weekend. Thanks for coming on. Bye for now.